I need basically everyone to. I need 5 people to lose in my dynasty league to make the playoffs.
So you damn near need a Greek tragedy for everybody else in the league for you.
You know what? Most fantasy, leagues end up turning into a Greek tragedy anyways. So I'm close. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate, bringing you Week 13 action. We are brought to you by Fantasy Focus and the Original Hooters. Derek, Tate, how are you this week? I know we're going a little bit early, and it's just because we want to bring some fantasy knowledge, ahead of schedule in time for these amazing Thanksgiving Day games, which, by the way, our drinking game word of the day is Thanksgiving. So with that, cheers. I've got my White Claw Mango.
Cheers. I'm rocking Corona.
Ah, classy. Love it.
Well, I'm not going to, if we're saying the word, Turkey Day, I'm going to say Turkey Day so I don't have to take a drink right now. But every time we say that in this episode, we're probably going to be saying it a lot. If I had to take a shot at tequila every time, it would be the Fantasy Debate with Sam and
no one else. No, it'd be me and our loyal commenters, which, guys, please don't forget to go ahead and put your comments right below. We will go ahead and answer all of your lineup questions as soon as we can live, because we like to help you guys out. That's what we're here for.
Thank you very much. We love having you. We're the Fantasy Focus family. That's what the holidays are all about, Sam. It's family. Family
giving, because it's Thanksgiving. One more real quick.
Oh, no.
So that brings us to our potential lineup for this week. 3 great Thursday night games. We start with Chicago at Detroit, Buffalo at Dallas, and New Orleans at Atlanta for the final evening game, which I'm realizing now, based on all these times, our Pacific Standard for me, you guys have all of these games so late. I just can't get over how brutal that is.
Oh, wow. No, it's okay. I mean, I don't have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to be able to watch football, which...
How is 9:30 a.m. the ass crack of dawn?
It is the ass crack of dawn when I have the option of sleeping in, Samantha.
I haven't been able to sleep in years.
Well, some of us aren't go-getters and go to the gym and, run 2 or 3 miles to start our day at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
That's how I feel good. That's how I feel good about myself. Anyways, let's go back to these games, and we're just going to talk about a couple players that we want to know. Can we trust them going into Thursday, and what confidence we can have in them going forward? So one player we want to talk about with the first game of Thursday night would have to be Allen Robinson. Now, Tate, how do you feel about him at Detroit? I mean, Detroit hasn't looked formidable in any sense of the word. However, Robinson hasn't been reliable with Trubisky under center. So
anybody been reliable with Trubisky under center?
Nobody has. So with that, how do you feel about Robinson this week?
So Robinson, we just got to harken back to these two teams faced off in Week 10. In fact, we have 2 rematches on Thanksgiving. Cheers. To Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. I didn't finish the word there. My bad. I'm sorry. But Allen Robinson in Week 10 logged 6 catches, 86 yards, and Darius Slay was active. And you mentioned the Lions haven't really been posing a threat to anybody. They actually put up a hell of a fight against the Dallas Cowboys at Ford Field not too long ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. But point being, the Bears... Mitchell Trubisky had one of his best games of the season, and it wasn't even all that great, but it was a clean game, 173 yards through the air and 3 touchdown passes. Robinson went 6 for 86. But even this past week where Trubisky found Robinson was like open by a country mile, and Trubisky barely got it to him. Robinson had to slow down, almost pluck the ball off of his knee, and then carry a defender into the end zone against the Giants' trash secondary for him to even be able to find the end zone. Robinson is a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. Trubisky is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
So if you have other options, it is all relative. But if you're doing like a DFS thing, I'm going away from Allen Robinson. Not to say that he's not capable of tearing up Darius Slay, but I'm going to go in different direction because I just don't trust Mitchell Trubisky.
It's really hard to trust him there, and I don't think it's really hard for the team to trust him there. It's just been so up and down. And as we go, for a lot of leagues, this is the last week before the playoffs. Some people need that win.
Gotta have it.
You got to have it. Do you feel comfortable starting him in your flex? I mean, he did have 25 points last week, but he had 5 the week before that. So what can you hang your hat on, really?
But can you trust him? I mean, and the answer is you don't know what his floor is going to be on a weekly basis because of Mitchell Trubisky barely being able to generate first downs, much less sustain scoring drives. And Trubisky is really struggling pushing the ball down the field. If you notice his stat lines and if you watch those Bears games, everything is just one read, 3-step drops, balls out of his hand real quick. I know they've had protection issues, which doesn't allow Trubisky to push the ball down the field regularly this season. But really, everything has been incredibly simplified and dumbed down to even make Trubisky mildly competent. So for that, if you have other options, Allen Robinson's a great player. He's just in a terrible situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other side of the ball, with the Lions, it's almost, I mean, who do you really have any faith in this week? It's not looking good for anyone there. I mean, Kenny Golladay, I'm still iffy on, even in my flex position. I mean, Marvin Jones, maybe depending on a deeper league, but Bo Scarborough, I don't know that I feel confident having to start him this week. What about you?
I'm not messing with any Detroit Lions. I'm not. I mean, and I know that Bo Scarborough hasn't looked terrible. He hasn't. And if you're, again, it's all relative to your lineup. But if I have other options, and I'm assuming you have other options that are at least comparable to Bo Scarborough, then I'm going in a different direction. I mean, Marvin Jones had a pretty good game, 5 for 77 back in week 10. Golladay actually found the end zone against this Chicago defense. But we haven't even mentioned that Jeff Driscoll is dealing with a hamstring injury. He's questionable for Thursday. And
not good.
We may see the first start from David Blau.
What? What? Can you say that name again?
David Blau? Or David Blah. If you have on any Lion this week, that's how I feel about any Detroit Lion in my lineup. For this matchup against the Bears.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely brutal. And then, guys, again, thank you for all these questions. We will get to them. And you know what? It is a Tuesday and it's very random, but thanks for joining us, Will. As always, we appreciate you. Things are going down on Tuesday.
Will is our unofficial PR man.
He is. And, eventually we will be paying him because he is fantastic at that.
His marketing is fantastic. Good job. Thank you.
His marketing is amazing. Matty Voles joining us. Thank you. One of our regulars. Awesome, Matt. Good to see you. And he has a question I think is pretty much directed at me. What the heck is going on with the Steelers backfield? Can you trust Benny Snell like you would have Jalen Samuels, sans James Conner injury? I mean, this question we want to definitely answer for you, Maddie, before we get into the rest of the Thursday night games. I mean, the Steelers backfield, I mean,
have they given up on Jalen Samuels as a running back? Because I saw more involvement from Kareth White Jr. than I did from the likes of Jalen Samuels.
Yeah, I didn't really know what we were doing this week. But to be fair, because I got to be fair to my guys, I think that we've just been frazzled. And I think that something has shaken the core of the team offensively. And defensively, we're still sinking. We're still there. I mean, missing a few beats. But I don't know. I think
Benny Snell's the guy.
Benny Snell's probably your guy going forward with, with Duck Hodges. I mean, he's officially named the starter this week.
So many great names.
So many great names. I love it.
Tons now with the Steelers. Oh, yeah. Duck Hodges. We've got Benny Snell. We've got but Benny, Benny.
No, we've got so many good ones. And I mean, I love even the Duck Dodgers references for Duck Hodges. Because I love Duck Dodgers. Daffy Duck is my favorite. But anyways,
do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Oh my gosh. Could you trust Benny Snell this week? I think that you could. I know that they're going to be coming out strong against Cleveland. It's going to be a very interesting matchup back at Heinz Field. Honestly, this game makes me nervous. I want to watch this game out in public so that I have to maintain some sort of decorum and get off of Twitter, because last game I was off on the rails, if anyone followed me, because it was such an upsetting game. So
it's fun to watch you kind of unravel, though.
Yeah, it was a very
it's such a great roller coaster to watch Sam as the Steelers game is going on.
Oh my God. The Twitter feed is just horrible. I mean, I do apologize for some of the words I use, but I don't apologize for all of them.
Yes, Tommy, we do have a drinking day today, or drinking word tonight, and it is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Cheers.
Tommy, thanks for joining us yet again.
Yes.
Of course, we got Nick Bird. Nick, what up, guys? I really hope Buffalo beats Dallas. Is it one of the funnest things to watch in all of social media, and even the media in general, aside from, Sam, in the midst of watching a Steelers game, one particular that they're losing, but the Dallas Cowboy fan base, and in particular the media, like Skip Bayless, your boy Skip Bayless, who is the worst homer I've ever even witnessed. I don't know why they give him so much screen time, but point being, if the Bills go into Jerry World on Thanksgiving and they drop to 500, I would love to see the fallout from Dallas Cowboys fans.
Yeah, watching that unravel would be interesting. There would just be a lot of, I think, darts thrown at different places that didn't need it. I mean, people would be calling for firings. It would just be all kinds of madness.
Why don't we talk about the game, though? I mean, since we're already kind of on the topic, that is the second game of the slate.
It is. I mean, one player we definitely want to talk about on the Buffalo side would have to be John Brown, and how we feel about him in this game. I mean, I feel like some people aren't trusting him the way that they should be, which is really weird. Is it just because he doesn't have his... I mean, it's nothing to throw your hat over, but is it just that his name is boring? John Brown? It's just, there's nothing like fun and like zesty about it, like other names, maybe. But he's been so darn consistent, and he's been an amazing fantasy asset. If you've had him, and you know. I mean, last week
bad Johnny Brown, the baddest receiver in old downtown
Buffalo.
Sorry, I'm proud. Anyway, so let me just throw this your way, though.
Yeah.
There are two receivers that either have 50 or more receiving yards or a touchdown in every single game in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, of course, is John Brown. You know, the other one is Michael Thomas. What does John Brown have to do to warrant your fantasy respect to put him in your lineup? He has not laid an egg the entire fantasy season. I get that he's not a marquee talent, and I get that Josh Allen is erratic. I get why people hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the number one option, and he continues to produce.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just putting points on your bench if you sit John Brown.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know that, I'm saying this here too. The secondary for the Cowboys has been allowing the third fewest fantasy points to receivers, but John Brown is just such an amazing vertical threat that if you don't at least put him in as your wide receiver too, your flex, like, you just got to get him in there. He's going to do something this week. It's a big game, Thursday night game. He's going to show up. Josh Allen is going to find him. Again, like you said, he is his number one. He's his ride or die, I would say.
That's cute. John Brown is going to continue to put up decent numbers. I don't know if he's going to find the end zone this week against the Dallas Cowboys. I do expect him to see the top corner of the boys. Jones is going to probably shadow him all over the field. Mm-hmm. However, John Brown continues to put up a floor that you can trust on a weekly basis. If you're in a must-win situation, unless you've just got like Devontae Adams and another stud number one wide receiver like Devontae Adams or something like, or DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, like, start John Brown. He's continuing to produce.
But see what I mean about the names, like Julio Jones, Devontae Adams. Those all just have like a zest. They got something in the name.
John Brown doesn't. It just depends on what.
It's a vanilla name. It's a vanilla name. If the other ones are Rocky Road, like, it's just vanilla.
He's going downtown to John Brown. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Come on. Like, I didn't make that my own.
No, you definitely stole that.
Oh, shit. That Tater trademark right there. Come on now. So, On the
All
other
right.
side, though,
Victor actually brings up a good one for us. He is bringing up Amari Cooper for us, which is our next player for that game. Thank you, Victor.
Hey, happy
And he
Thanksgiving,
says,
by the way.
yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Cheers, everyone. I still need Amari Cooper after that goose egg he put up. This perfectly lays into what we're going to be talking about next, which is how can we trust Amari Cooper in this game? I mean, Buffalo's defense has been pretty burly. I mean, they've been able to stop the deep pass. They've been able to do a lot. So can we have any hope here for Cooper?
You could definitely have hope. I mean, Tre'Davious White, though, is one of the better corners in the NFL. And I mentioned on another episode, but he's essentially white out for the opposing team's best wide receiver because he generally puts them on notice. I mean, I know that Devontae Parker had a great week against him, and he's not perfect, but he did a hell of a job on Cortland Sutton this past week. And Sutton's been killing it for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So Tre'Davious White is no one to be messed around with. Amari Cooper, watching him against the New England Patriots, Stephon Gilmore just got in his head.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I mean, Randall Cobb's been playing good football. So has Michael Gallup.
But maybe because Cobb and Gallup have been playing so well, hopefully that can still take some of the pressure off Cooper so that he can have some sort of playability this week.
I'm going to ask you, who would you rather start, John Brown or Amari Cooper?
John Brown.
This week,
it
would be John Brown for me.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Amari Cooper's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. I do. That may be unpopular, but I think he's one of the best route runners in the league.
Sure.
I just something seems off. I don't know if it's like he's not fully healthy or something, but I imagined he would have done something against Stephon Gilmore. I know Gilmore's great, but he's not that damn good. He's not Happy Gilmore. Lafferty Daniel and Gilmore happy. But
my goodness.
Again, it depends on your options when it comes to Amari Cooper or not. You're probably starting him in most scenarios, but
you're starting him you're starting him more of a wide receiver 2 position than anything else.
Lower your expectations.
Yeah, definitely tempered expectations. And sorry, Mike, about John Brown this past week. John Brown helped him in a losing effort last week. I'm sorry. It's brutal. Yeah, I'm sorry. Better days ahead.
Nothing like leading you to defeat.
Yeah, we're gonna lead your horse to water, but he might drown. We're gonna try our best, guys.
I think I'm gonna steal that one.
I say it a lot at work. All right, Nick, with another one for us. You guys don't have to answer now, but now that my team is fully available, I have to choose between Singletary or Chark in my flex. Where would you go? I mean, Singletary's a part of this matchup, so he's good to bring up.
DJ Chark, though. It's hard to sit DJ Chark.
It is.
It's been that good. But
at Tampa Bay.
All that being said,
at Tampa Bay, as you wear that Tampa Bay hat.
All that being said, I am going to go with Devin Singletary. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, he's seen 15 or more touches. And if you watch Devin, and no disrespect to DJ Chark, now I've seen 2 players that are playing equally at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I give the nod to the guy who's going to see more total touches. That's the only reason Chark is playing out of his mind. And I will hearken back to this. We all thought that the Atlanta Falcons were likely going to torch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary. Am I not correct? We thought Julio was going to eat. And Calvin Ridley had a good game.
He did.
Julio went to the locker room early. But Carlton Davis played well. So did Jamal Dean. Even showed out in a couple moments. And Sean Murphy-Bunting continues to be very, very, very up and down. For that reason, Singletary looks great whenever he gets touches. I'm going Devin Singletary. Yeah.
I mean, I totally get that. Definitely go with the touches. I just love the matchup this week.
I know.
At the Bucs. The Bucs have allowed the most yards to receivers.
I know.
And you wear that hat.
I think Chark is going to get Carlton Davis. And Davis did a good job on Julio Jones. No offense to DJ Chark, but he's not on Julio Jones level.
Sure, but he's younger.
I mean, whoop-de-doo. Lottie freaking da.
Lottie.
He's a little bit younger.
Well, just saying. He's made some magic happen. So of those two, I'm gonna pick Chark, and we're gonna disagree. But hopefully, Nick, that doesn't totally mess you up on your start. So, and then Tommy Garrett there says Chark for him, easy as well.
Totally understand. Chark's been great this year. I mean,
yeah.
You're choosing between two right answers, and the matchup is, even though the Falcons struggled against the Bucs, still a great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as we talk about the Falcons, let's move on to the next game for Thanksgiving. It's been a minute.
Oh, it has been a minute. By the way, in the comment section, who's drinking with us?
Yes, sure. Absolutely, guys. Let us know. Make sure that we're,
this is kind of drinking together. We're kind of having a Friendsgiving right now.
We are very much. This is a fantasy Friendsgiving, in all senses of the word.
That's a good right.
Actually, the last couple of years, I think this is gonna be the first year I don't do it. We've done a Friendsgiving in my big dynasty league, and we cook a whole big old, feast, and I do the turkey, do all the things, and it is a good time. And then, because I like to wrap the turkey in bacon because it makes it delicious. It's like my thing.
Is there any other tradition for your Friendsgiving, or even your, I know this is quick, but Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Besides everyone wearing their jerseys for that Friendsgiving, I would say just the amount of food we eat, and the fact that I can't take the turkey out of the oven because it's got bacon all over it without the guys being right behind me being like, give me a piece. I'm like, just get away. I've got the knife. I'm like, no, we're waiting until dinner. And then until one of them distracts me, the other ones take all the bacon off of the turkey. And then I'm just like, you guys suck. But
you know what's heartbreaking for me is that every turkey day, so we don't have to take another drink, but we will continue to drink. My family, I don't know if it's like a completely shit on Derek type of event.
Sounds like it.
So every single Thanksgiving, there would be my commercial for Dockers that was played, which, by the way, if you have not yet seen it, it is awful, cringeworthy. I will post it on Instagram because it's that bad, but it's cringeworthy bad, but laughing worthy. I also did a music video once upon a time.
Ooh, fancy.
Equally horrible. I really peaked at a young age as far as my acting career. And,
we all?
But my family loves to go ahead and play those things to remind me of the awfulness of it. But I also do a very good pre-Battle of Sterling speech from the movie Braveheart.
Ah, yes.
I can do the entire monologue of William Wallace off the top of my head in a Scottish accent. And my family, I rally the troops. They're all in the kitchen. I'm in the living room, and I act like I'm riding a horse back and forth, and I get everybody hyped with it. And, of course, my family likes to Sam, I don't know about yours, but it's basically just an excuse for everybody to get together and party.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I think we also have that in common, too. I mean, my family does have a fantastic time, and, I mean, between my uncle being like, I haven't had a tequila shot in about 10 minutes. No, okay.
Oh, boy.
All right, sure.
One of those
You're
times.
not taking one with me? Okay, sure. I have to do halves. There's so many I can't do whole ones, because if I did whole ones, I'd be on the floor. I'd be on the floor by 10 in the morning because we start early. So, I mean, that's just how the holiday goes. But you know what? Good to know that we've got Lori drinking with us as well.
Lori! Thank you, Lori.
Thank you. And Victor appreciates my bacon turkey. That is where it's at. And Tommy with the genius comment here. That's why you cook extra bacon for snacks. Bacon snacks are definitely the best snacks. I have to agree.
Speaking of which, Lori was actually the young lady that allowed me to go ahead and escort an event, right? I escorted, it was like a folks that were auctioning themselves off for dates for a charitable cause.
Oh,
so
cool.
I was I would escort the young ladies that were being auctioned off on the stage. She was awesome. Thank you so much. Got to give her a shout out. So.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. Wait, Tommy's got one with you for this speech. Better speech. William Wallace in Braveheart, Coach Boone in Remember the Titans, or presidents in Independence Day. This is difficult for me. I love the Braveheart speech, but I love the Coach Boone speech, man. And Presidents and Independence Day. I mean, that one's short and sweet, which is why I like it.
Good morning. In less than an hour. Yeah, that's actually a monologue that I've also remembered as well. So yes. Look, I don't want to sit here and do impersonations and imitations and monologues because I might lose people. But what is the best one, though? What is the best movie speech? I also think you're disrespecting any given Sunday Coach Tony D'Amato for the Miami Sharks. The 6 inches in front of your face.
I mean,
like the game of inches.
It is, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. William Wallace Braveheart.
It's William Wallace Braveheart for me.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. Hey, something we agree on. It's definitely the William Wallace Braveheart speech for us. Thanks for that one, Tommy. And Tyler's joining us.
Fun fact: Sam and I have both dressed up as William Wallace for Halloween.
Yeah, different years, but one reason, right? We're best friends.
I mean, that's why we're drinking on Thanksgiving together. Keep drinking White Claw. Let's go. Moving on.
Tyler's in with us. Finally, Tyler has come back to the fantasy debate with Sam and Tate. Thank you, Tyler.
I know what he's referencing.
And he means that in his best rock voice ever, of course.
Tyler, I gotta hear it. I posted a video of myself doing it on social media, and people are asking me, what the hell was that? So
yeah. And he says it's easily Bill Paxton for the speeches.
It's hard to Bill Paxton is not the one that delivered the one from the Independence Day.
No.
That was Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman. Jeez, Tyler. What are you doing?
I win movie game every time I play. So.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get back to football
Let's get it back.
To get back before we get to the other games, because we do have one football question here from Victor. Darius Slayton, Michael Gallup, or N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry had a nice little touchdown this weekend.
Harry, I've reached the top. I don't want to overlook though. Darius Slayton led the Giants in receiving over the past week.
Yeah.
So I expect N'Keal Harry to continue to get more and more involved in this offense as he gets his timing down. He even had a drop. That was a really, by the way, the conditions at that Patriots-Cowboy game was awful. So
yeah, no, it was horrible. So it was a miracle that he even got that. I mean, I was joking with someone that basically it was going to be an entirely running game, but lo and behold, Tom Brady knows how to play in the rain.
I mean, shocker.
Surprise.
Big shocker. I mean, also, I just think I don't want to dissect the X's and O's of that game. I mean, the point being, I expect N'Keal Harry, who I think is the most physically gifted wide receiver of this Patriots group. No disrespect to Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman's awesome. But I expect N'Keal Harry's role to grow moving forward.
Definitely. No, I agree. And I think that he's got a good matchup at Houston this week. So I definitely like him of this group for sure this week. So guys, please give us more of your fantasy questions. We're going to get through a couple more players in these upcoming games, but throw those questions in the comments. We love them. We will definitely get to you guys. We do not miss a question. Last week we went 2 hours because we did not want to miss a question, and we normally only go one. So that's because we love you. But getting back to the next game, the next game in the evening, this Thursday, would be New Orleans at Atlanta. And let's talk about the running back situation there for Atlanta. Big question marks. I mean, Brian Hill. We were discussing this before we started in the pre-show, but fool me once, shame on you? And then fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, never start him again. Like, I don't
think we ever get to 3. It's supposed to stop at 2.
It's supposed to stop at 2, right? Like, you can't, like, fool me twice. Like, I can't trust you no more. Like, I don't understand. So what do we do with Brian Hill? I mean, what do we do with any Atlanta running back at this point? Going into this game, going into this matchup, New Orleans is looking much better. They definitely play better at home and they're away. So that's also a toss-up.
Yeah, where do you land? The Bucs go on the road and absolutely put it on the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
And the Bucs, I think it was the running backs combined for 17 carries for 34 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm staying away. completely. I mean, Devonta Freeman did practice, but we don't know if he's going to be good to go for a Thursday game.
Yeah, for a short game. And I mean, do you ever really feel 100% confident starting a running back coming back from injury?
Not really. I mean, David Johnson has kind of taught us that lesson on
Absolutely
occasions this season. And then not to mention Brian Hill and Kadri Allison. I mean, Allison, if there's one guy to start, if you're like, in a deep league and it's a complete disaster, Allison's the guy to start because he's the short yardage back. He scored a touchdown in each of the last 2 weeks. And I expect him. I mean, he did see his carries jump from last week all the way up to 8 carries. I mean, but you feel confident in 8 carries for a team that has been struggling to run the football all year? I'm sure as hell not. Especially if you're relying and need a win this week. I'd rather go in a ton of different directions other than any Falcons running back.
Yeah, and I mean, it is interesting enough, though, that Freeman would be coming back for a New Orleans game when that was the last game he played in, and he had 7.8 PPR fantasy points. So
10 carries for 38 yards.
It's like, okay.
That's no,
come on. It's like, it's not good. It's not awesome. It kind of sucks. I mean, especially for where you play him at, but yeah, not a ton of confidence there in Devonta Freeman, even if he starts. Now, on the other side of the ball, let's stick with running back position and talk a little bit about Latavius Murray. I definitely feel like Atlanta has proven that they've turned the wheel on their defense, and it is looking decent. It's looking much better than it was earlier this season. But how do you feel about Latavius Murray this week?
It's tough because Latavius Murray last week scored a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
7 carries, 64 yards, and a tutty. But against the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, really the Saints had a weird game, right? I mean, they only scored 9 points. And Kamara was heavily involved in the passing game, as he always is.
Yeah.
I think he's caught 8 or more passes every single game since he's come back from injury.
Yeah. Yeah,
Murray,
it was 8, 10, and 9.
You're banking on a touchdown. You're banking on it. You're stretching for a touchdown, even though I do think he's a great compliment to Alvin Kamara, but I don't trust him this week. I mean, if you have Kamara, you're starting him. If you have Michael Thomas, you're starting him.
Yeah.
I mean, Cook, I actually think Cook is a top 6 play at tight end this week.
Sure.
So you're starting him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I mean, maybe Ted Ginn is somebody that's up for question, but for me, Murray, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable starting him. You're basically you're gambling. You're just rolling the dice, and if you need a win in week 13, I'm not rolling the dice on Latavius Murray.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I feel like for me, I would feel only okay with starting him in a flex position, in standard preferably, I guess, but even still, it is definitely tough to trust him this week. It's just, there's so many other options too, I think, that you have at this point if you're hanging your hat on Murray. So I don't know, definitely want to not gamble this week on him.
It's one thing if you need to score a ton of fantasy points and you have an option between a possession receiver and a home run hitter, right?
Yeah.
It's like Tyler Boyd versus Hollywood Brown or some shit like that. It's completely different if you have those two, you have that type of question because you need to score a shit ton of points. You need to win, not only win your game, but then take over the guy and score more points than the guy that's in front of you in the standings or something like that. But for the most part, you want to start guys that have that safe floor. And Murray is somebody he doesn't have a safe floor.
No, unfortunately not, which is interesting just because of the dynamic of the 2 running back position that New Orleans had last year when Latavius Murray was on the team and how reliable he was for fantasy implications. So, or what's his face? Other guy. I mean, it's just Mark Ingram was one.
Mark Ingram, that's the guy?
Yeah, that guy, that other guy.
Mark Ingram.
Who had an amazing game this week because I think the Rams forgot they were playing football, but that's okay. Separate discussion we will have a little bit later. So before we run into more players off of the rest of the week and who we can trust going forward, let's just get to a couple more questions. BN Dried Ocean, love the name. I'm guessing this is Josh Jacobs or Le'Veon Bell PPR. I mean,
Jacobs has been better all year.
Jacobs has definitely been better all year. Between the two,
I'm going Jacobs. Bell has had some cupcake matchups over the last couple weeks.
He's got Cincinnati this week.
He has not topped 70 yards rushing all year. How many times has Josh Jacobs ran for over 100 yards? I mean, you don't have to look it up because he's ran for more yards than over 100 yards, at least on a couple of occasions. And Jacobs has even been dinged up some of the year too, and he's still balling out. There's no way that I'm starting Bell over Jacobs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even with a favorable matchup.
Even against the Bengals, who are just, playing for draft picks at this point.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm aware, but no.
But aware, but no. I mean, Oakland at Kansas City is an interesting matchup. I believe that, there's a lot of implications with that game. There's a lot of must win. So
how do you beat the Chiefs? You run the football. And that's the one thing that they've been able to do all year. That's the reason why Josh Jacobs is potentially the NFL Rookie of the Year.
Sure. Well, in one league, I have both of them. So I'm starting both of them.
Are you going Bell? But would you go Bell?
In that league, it's standard. So I'm definitely starting both because I've also got Aaron Jones. So I'm starting Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Bell at my flex.
I'm not letting you get off the hook. Who are you starting? Be Dried Ocean needs an answer.
Josh Jacobs. My ride or die for the year. Like you just said, Rookie of the Year. Between the two, definitely him. But in one league, I'm playing both. So that's just my situation. And again, we say hi as well. Thank you for joining us.
For real.
Mike, we've got another question from him. Matt Foley, Mike Donnelly, or Tommy Zielinski. Who you got?
Oh, I mean, this is either a Tommy Boy or a Black Sheep. Have you seen both of these movies multiple times?
I have not seen them multiple times enough to know all these references. I think I've seen each once.
Now, my name is Matt Foley, and I am a motivational speaker. Let me go ahead and give you an idea of what my life is like. I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
Okay, well, then he obviously wins. He wins speeches.
Now,
it's going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Donnelly is from Black Sheep. He's fantastic. He's the guy that... Oh man, never mind. Let's go. It's Matt Foley and a landslide for me, Mike Panu. I can go all day.
And this actually, Rafael Markel brings us to a couple more players that are on our list of "Do You Trust Me?" And his is still believe in Cooper Kupp.
You have to. Cooper
We've
Kupp.
Got to. He's the number one on that passing offense. He is Jared Goff's safety blanket, though he hasn't necessarily been that way in the red zone. And I think it's because Goff has had a bit of the deer in the headlights look all season. But they have a much better matchup this week at Arizona. He's going to come back. You're starting him. You're starting him. If you're benching him, you have to have crazy other options, but you're definitely starting Cooper Kupp this week. I mean, I would start all of my Rams receivers this week, especially at Arizona.
Cooper Kupp. I'm fine. Still believe in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a bad run of luck, and the Rams offense is a little out of sorts, though. I will say that much.
Yeah, they need to find some sorts because they're all out of them for sure.
Ooh, I have shorts. Anyway, continue.
Tommy Garrett, the only Atlanta player I feel confident starting is Calvin Ridley. Given the Julio injury and on a short notice, I'm concerned. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Ridley's been balling the last.
Ridley has been balling. I mean, it's something about that second wide receiver position that has opened up a lot of these players for different teams, and he's just been awesome. So I definitely agree. I love him this week. It sucks that Julio is questionable. I do not like that at all as someone who had just recently picked him up. So that sucks.
It happens.
It happens. Hopkins this week, or sit him for Rojo or Williams.
We need to know which Williams.
Rafael, this is something that's important. Unfortunately, there's a lot of players in the NFL that have the last name Williams. We would need to know which one. But if we're just talking Hopkins versus Rojo, which would you prefer in that case?
D-Hop, even though Stephon Gilmore, I get it. He blanked Amari Cooper, but this is D-Hop. And D-Hop is the best wide receiver in the National Football League.
He is.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and retract that statement. It's Michael Thomas. Then it's DeAndre.
Yeah, no,
Hopkins.
he is.
Then it's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, Yeah, you can't not start Hopkins. I think at that point you're trying to get cute with your lineup. And I think there's another way you can integrate one of those two players into your lineup without benching Hopkins. There's got to be another way.
Not Rojo. And if you're talking about Damian Williams, hell to the no.
No. 100% no. Absolutely not. Tommy Garrett with another one. It's week 13. People are trying to make this final playoff spot. Now isn't the time to take unneeded risks. 100% agree. You're starting your studs. Even if they had a bad week last week, I had Aaron Jones last week, and he was horrible for me. He's on our list coming up of players do we trust going forward. But you got to start the main guys because they're going to have a good game. You can't try and get cute here. There's just no point in rolling the dice with those odds. Like, play your best team, right?
If we had a soundbite, it would be ding, ding, ding. What do we have for him, Tommy? Like, that's perfect. Don't take unneeded risk. 100% agree.
No, yeah, it doesn't. You're just not doing yourself any favors. And early in the season, sure, I get why you want to try things out, but week 13 is not the time to try things out and get cute. So moving forward, Victor with another one for us. Cooper, Barkley, and Jones all put up stinkers last week. Lamar and Singletary nearly saved my week. You know what I saw a lot of on Twitter before I finished
Lamar Jackson and it didn't save your week, then yeah, you had a shit week.
I saw a lot of people that were tweeting out that because he got benched, they were only like 2 points away. And I was like, guys, this is that thing where it's like, you can't get greedy. You couldn't have thought that he was going to get you even as many points as he did get you.
I will say the only thing that I would look back and be like, the old turf monster got him.
Sure.
Like at the 1 yard line after he freaking fumbled the snap.
Sure.
Darts takes off, and he should have housed it, but dropped the ball. And then Jalen Ramsey, the only good thing he did the entire game, actually catches Lamar and keeps him out of the end zone. That would have been your 6 points right there, pal.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, Victor. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. But let's finish his question. Do you like Everett against Arizona with Cooks and Woods back? I think it kind of evens out the targets this week against Arizona. I don't think that everyone can get all the targets. I don't think Jared Goff is Jared Goff of last year where he was magically getting the ball to everyone. So I definitely think that this puts a little bit of a damper on Everett's ceiling for fantasy points.
Yeah, fade Everett. He's got to go to your bench. The offense as a whole is struggling. So the last thing I want is the fourth wheel if all the other wide receivers are available. And the fact that it looks like they're trying to get Todd Gurley involved, even though everything was a disaster this week against the Ravens. So I'm personally not going to trust Everett. But the wasteland that is tight end, depending on what your other options are,
There's got to be a better option. We are technically also on waiver wire, Tuesday. So there's got to be somebody available. I mean, I know that most of my leagues are completely depleted, but there's got to be someone that you can at least phase in this week to get you by. So
it is in the comment section with the options at tight end if you can look it up real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every league is different, so it doesn't matter what I pull up. You guys are probably not going to see the same people I do. And I've got one league that basically has all IR positions available because somehow people have stashed everybody. It makes it impossible. So we're moving on to the next one from Will. Thanks, Will, for this one. Full PPR, pick 2. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Michael Gallup, Christian Kirk, or Devontae Parker. I feel like this is an easy Hopkins and Calvin Ridley for me.
Not Keenan Allen?
I don't have a lot of trust in the Chargers. And, I mean, I would normally say Keenan Allen, but with how consistent Calvin Ridley has been, I'd prefer Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I'm going Keenan Allen and D-Hop. All right, Willie, let's do this. Willie Jenkins. Tell me you know what I'm referencing. Sorry.
No.
It's an old YouTube video for World of Warcraft, Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. That was such a good one.
Oh, sure.
Dude, I remember watching that in college, and I was in college, oh my God, 10 years ago. I want to die. I'm so old.
I mean, if we keep talking about Thanksgiving, I'm going to need to get another beer.
You just said it, so.
I know, I set it up. All right, so, of course, Tommy Boy. I'm just going to start calling Tommy Garrett Tommy Boy.
I like it.
He's saying you're playing DeAndre Hopkins. I agree. Do not sit DeAndre. What?
No. Definitely don't get cute this week. And
how do people feel that sat Chris Godwin? People started actually asking and hitting us with questions on the live show about starting Chris Godwin. How do you feel this week? Godwin is a stud. Start him. Start your studs.
Yes.
That's a quote from Matthew Berry.
Yeah. And I've met him, and he's a delightful person. So you should listen to him and stop hating.
I haven't met him.
I've met him a couple times. He's really cool. He's funny. All right, TS with one for us. Do you trust Rodgers this week at New York?
Yes, he just faced off against arguably, I think it's the best defense in the NFL. No disrespect to the New England Patriots. I think it's the best defense in the NFL.
I don't mind you disrespecting the Patriots, though.
They clamped down on Aaron Rodgers. If you watch that game, it wasn't Rodgers' fault. He was under siege the entire time.
Under siege is a subtle way to put what he was dealing with in that game. But
name one New York Giants pass rusher that you're scared of. I'll wait.
Yeah, I'd have to definitely look deep into my notes to find any names of note. That's another reason why I'm having more hope this week for Aaron Jones. This is a bounce back week for all your Packers. It's going to be much better sailing against the Giants. So definitely trust Rodgers this week. Again, this depends on who you have as, other options. If you had to pick someone random off the top of my head, Rodgers or Wentz, I would go Rodgers easy. Would you go Josh Allen or would you go Aaron Rodgers? This week, I would still go Aaron Rodgers for me. Are there any other quarterbacks you could think of that you would start over Rodgers besides the ridiculous obvious?
No, the ridiculous obvious are the only ones. I mean, the matchup against the New York. Look at what Mitchell Trubisky did to the New York Giants. If he can have a fantasy relevant day against that defense, then you bet your ass that Aaron Rodgers, coming off of a horrible game, is going to have himself a bounce back performance.
Absolutely. And Raphael Markel bringing us back to his question with the proper Williams. Rojo or Jonathan Williams as a better play?
Jonathan Williams, then. It's definitely Jonathan Williams over Rojo, but Raphael, I am not going to start even Jonathan Williams, who's had 2 great games in a row, over DeAndre Hopkins. I'm still starting DeAndre despite the matchup.
But hopefully he can
Rojo and Jonathan Williams is definitely Jonathan Williams.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we know that Marlon Mack is going to be out at least another week. I mean, I would say, he's got a broken hand. Is he really going to come back and try and play with a broken hand? I don't really see so much at the position. It doesn't make any sense.
With Jonathan Williams playing as well as he is, why would you rush back Marlon Mack?
Absolutely. So, but hopefully, Raphael can put Jonathan Williams into his flex position, and it'll still be, a good start for him. Victor, Baltimore is too good. I think it's goes without saying. Baltimore is amazing this year. Lamar doesn't even need to play the fourth quarter. No, he doesn't. Though apparently some people needed at least 2 more points out of him, which kind of sucks.
That stings. I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely. The Aaron Rodgers State Farm commercials suck. It's because he can't act. It's just not what he's good at.
Much to do. They're highlighting the stupid ass,
the other agent
guy, the goofy agent guy who is, making things awkward. Have you met my new homeboy, Patrick Mahomes? Like, come on. I don't think he's the reason those commercials suck, but they do suck. So DM, I agree. I'm just hoping we're not blaming Aaron Rodgers for them sucking.
No, hopefully not. And Raphael actually giving us more clarification for this lineup question. I also can't get both Rojo or Jonathan Williams into my lineup without sitting Hopkins. That's an interesting lineup. So he's got, I'm guessing, Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones, and Hopkins and Kupp. It's a loaded team, 8-team. Well, that's why 8-team PPR.
I would actually consider sitting Fournette for Jonathan Williams. Hear me out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the best running defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. I agree with you though, Raphael. You start your studs. You've been able to trust Fournette the entire year. I'm going to go with Fournette, but that's way closer than I thought.
Yeah, definitely. And clarity on the 18 PPR definitely makes more sense as to why you'd even consider benching DeAndre Hopkins. That is rough.
18 leagues are weird.
It's
It makes me feel uncomfortable because every time I walk away from the draft, I'm like, I'm winning this league. And it just.
And then when you don't, you just get so mad.
I'm pissed off by week 4. I'm like, why have so much?
How am I losing? I have an amazing team. We're all scoring 250 points. No big deal.
How is this happening? Shit.
In DM, our company hired an employee named Leroy Jenkins. I was cracking up. Oh my gosh, when that HR email went around, that's amazing. That would be so good.
I'm so glad other people picked up on that reference. I was so worried for a second.
Okay. Well, no, you've got your supporters. You're fine. Victor, he I guess is going back to those tight ends. He could pick up Jaden Graham, Knox, Hawkinson, or Jack Doyle. Well, given that Ebron is now out, I think that Doyle would be your better pickup there.
I'm going.
No,
Knox.
for you.
Going
You're going
Dawson Knox. I'm going Dawson Knox. Josh Allen's playing good football. I mean, and have you seen this kid, Dawson Knox? When he gets the ball in his hands, he's great after the catch. He's a plus athlete at the tight end spot. Not to say that Hawkinson isn't, but I trust Josh Allen a hell of a lot more than I trust whoever's throwing the ball for the Detroit Lions against the Chicago Bears this week. And Jackie Doyle piece, I mean, you got Eric Ebron, and now T.Y. Hilton's probably going to be getting healthier and more involved in the offense. To me, I like Knox.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's definitely been playing amazingly well. But see, Victor, at least you have other options. You do have other options. It's going to be fine. You'll get through this week.
And plus, Knox is the name of your kitty cat.
He is. That is the name of my cat. And he's definitely hiding from me right now, which is good. Because normally he's trying to chew on a cable, and I want to kill him. So that is also positive. Raphael with another one for us. Godwin or Evans this week?
I go down to the next comment that says, can you start them both? Yeah. I agree with that from Tommy Boy. Raphael, start them. I mean, again, you're in an 18 league.
Yeah.
Start them both. I mean, how much is Jameis Winston's thrown for over 300 yards over the last 6 weeks straight? I mean, say what you want about him as far as his decision-making and a lot of the boneheaded interceptions. Guess what? That doesn't count against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Dude's still just tossing the ball all over the yard. So, and there's no Jalen Ramsey there in Jacksonville. I mean, Boye's still a damn good corner, but yeah, start them both.
Yeah, if you can, definitely start them both. DM with another one for us. Pick 2, Allen Robinson, Rojo, Tyler Boyd, or Deebo Samuel.
Yo, Deebo's been balling.
Deebo has, but they've got the Ravens this week.
Deebo's been balling. I'm sticking with Deebo.
Now, see, I hear...
Now, Tyler Boyd and Allen Robinson, I'm going to go with Rojo. And I know that Rex Kwanjo, bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. I don't trust Allen Robinson and Tyler Boyd now that has Andy Dalton coming back under center. I mean, it's just a mess there in Cincinnati.
Sure.
Those two quarterback situations drive me absolutely up a wall. For me, a Jacksonville defense that just got diced up by Derrick Henry. I'm going to go with Rojo.
I'm going to go with Rojo as well.
By the way, happy Thanksgiving. I need to get another beer.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to definitely go Rojo as well. I feel like I see nothing but a big stop sign for Deebo this week with the Ravens in town. I mean, damn it if that defense is not solid. I mean, I know that they just put the kibosh on the Rams, but I just do not trust Deebo this week with that matchup. I think it is way too tight. So I'm going to go Rojo. And I think I'm going to go Allen Robinson.
Oh, you have little faith.
I don't feel good about it, but I think I feel a bit better about Allen Robinson than I do Tyler Boyd, like you just said. I mean, you're getting
how about I'm struggling to open this beer?
Geez, yeah, it's not that hard.
Jesus.
You could just do this with your teeth and it'll be fine.
Oh, grow up.
You grow up. You can't open a beer. So yeah, for me, it's gotta be Rojo and Allen Robinson, but I don't feel good about the Allen Robinson pick. Don't feel awesome.
So that's my ball, punk. That's
yeah.
Look, what do you want from Deebo Samuel? Like, in all seriousness, he's balled out the last 2 weeks.
He has, but it's just a giant stop sign running into his progress with the Ravens. You just have to.
If anything,
where credit's due.
Behind because no one has an answer for Lamar Jackson right now.
No, nobody does. Sure, but I mean, okay, this arguably is going to be, game of the year, Niners versus Ravens, which is a really weird statement to say. I would not have guessed that would be something I'd be saying in the preseason of this year. But honestly, I do not see this as being a high-scoring game. This is going to be a game that is won on a field goal.
So of all the quarterbacks, and even the guys that were just mentioned in this question, Deebo Samuel's been playing the best. I know Tyler Boyd just had a nice game, but I'm going with Deebo. I mean, we disagree. We're
allowed to. We're allowed to.
We are allowed to, but that's why it's called the fantasy debate with Sam and Tate.
Yeah, because we debate things. I'm right. Derek's wrong. We move on. And on to the next question.
Continue, please.
BN Dried Ocean. I love the Mayfield commercial with the smoke alarm. I agree. Of the Mayfield commercials.
That's his one good one. That's his one good one. That one's money.
Because it's so relatable. We've all been there. TS, Eckler or Jonathan Williams flex PPR.
Eckler is still a top 5 PPR back.
Amazingly enough. At Denver this week.
That being said, I'm going Jonathan Williams. He's been too good.
Yeah, no, he's been too good to not start. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Los Angeles at Denver. Oh, it's tight for me. I kind of want to go Eckler.
There's nothing wrong with going Austin Eckler. It's just...
No, these are both good picks, and it's good to have to choose between the two. I'm going to go Eckler. Tate's going to go with Williams, and, one of us will be right. It'll probably be me. But you don't know. We won't know until next week.
Move on. Next one.
Moving on to the next one. Nick Bird.
Let's go.
Nick Bird. I'm doing a 14-team league with a short bench, and it's quite stressful. I can imagine, but a lot of fun and requires some serious strategy. I mean, 14-team leagues they're the next level, and they're definitely fun, but oh man, gosh.
It can go to hell in a handbasket really fast.
Real quick. Like real fast. I mean,
either via injury or just missing on picks.
Absolutely. Is Breeze a lock over Allen this week? Right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The funny thing is, I say hell yeah, but he played. The Saints really struggled in Week 10 against the Falcons.
Oh yeah, they did.
They put up 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I don't think that the Falcons catch lightning in a bottle twice. I think Breeze has a great week.
No, I think this evens out, and I definitely go Breeze. Even Tommy Boy agrees with you. Breeze over Allen this week for sure. And Victor is throwing another one at us. Thanksgiving. Cheers, Victor.
Damn it, Victor.
Will bring another one for us. Better play this week. Sam Darnold versus Cincy or Kyle Allen versus Washington.
Crazy actually considering this, but it
is. I'm going to go Sam Darnold here, but I totally see the merit in both picks here. I mean, but yeah, for me, I'm going to go Sam Darnold. I feel like he's been doing consistently better over the last couple of weeks, and I feel like this is just a fantastic matchup for him.
And we saw Washington, come away with their second win of the season last.
They managed to get a win.
They did. Their starting quarterback didn't even get to finish the game in victory formation because he went and took a selfie with a fan before the game was actually freaking over.
When you're not used to your team winning or doing well, I mean, I'm sure it would throw off anyone.
Come on, he knows that shit.
But he's been on the Redskins, and they've completely just brainwashed him. He doesn't know what it's like anymore. I get it. I totally get it. Tommy with another one for us. Auden Tate might be the best wide receiver in Cincy this week in the 6 games where Tate saw over 89% of the snaps with Dalton at QB. He averaged 11.41 fantasy points per game in PPR compared to 6.06.
Dropping some knowledge.
Dropping some knowledge for us. Absolutely. I mean,
Auden Tate has been underappreciated all year as far as his usage, even his fantasy numbers. They've been kind of written off because, he's a Cincinnati Bengal. So
you would easily write him off because he's a Bengal.
Now Dalton's back under center, which I do think helps this offense because
it does. I mean, I've even heard people say, and people have been asking in my DMs, which is the weirdest thing, if I have any insight as to if AJ Green is going to start. I don't I don't have anyone's phone number in the Bengals office to know if he's going to start.
He's not.
I don't see him starting. We've had this discussion before about him. I don't see him starting, even with Andy Dalton back. But
dude, he's someone that is quitting his job and using the rest of his PTO before his ass is out the door. Come on. Like,
absolutely.
what else do you need to see? I don't feel comfortable on my ankle. Well, that's a very convenient excuse because he hasn't gotten a new contract. And who would want, I mean, like, first off, they're treating a guy that has been loyal and a damn freaking fantastic football player. I almost did it, but didn't. And AJ Green, who is a zero low maintenance superstar.
Yeah.
And they won't even give the guy a contract extension. I don't blame him for going, bump this noise. I'm out of here because they haven't won a freaking football game this season. And they're not going to win anytime soon.
No, and they won't. But back to more questions that are more fun, aside from the Bengals. TS with one for us, Kittle or Mark Andrews? This is interesting.
Ooh. George Kittle is the better football player.
And I'm going to go George Kittle even on a broken foot.
Do you see what he did last week? I mean, on Sunday Night Football against the Packers? I mean.
No, I mean.
Hey, Kittle, it's George Kittle over the middle, baby. Like, give me George Kittle. Like, what are you shaking your head for? It's actually a song, by the way. Song.
I know it's a song. It's just, it's the rhyming. It gets me every time. I'm definitely going to go George Kittle of the two.
Kittle's a beast.
He is a beast.
So is Mark Andrews, though. So is Mark Andrews.
So is Mark Andrews. But I feel like Kittle's more of the beast that's going to make the play out of nothing. And there's going to be a couple nothing plays out of Garoppolo this week just because he's got the Ravens, crushing him. So Kittle's going to have to make some stuff happen. And he's amazing after the catch.
When both are healthy, who you trust more? It's
George Kittle
for me.
Yeah.
It's Kittle. I mean, if there was no health issue, it would be Kittle, even though Andrews had a great season.
Yeah, it would be even that much easier to make that pick. Raphael, another one for us. The Godwin or Evans is in a different league. Good to know. We drafted teams and got the players from that team, so I have both. Other options on my bench would be Julio, Freeman, and Rojo.
Julio on your bench.
It's weird.
That's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
But
I mean, still stand by your decision on saying start both Godwin and Evans just for the volume.
I mean, with Julio dealing with an injury, I would actually consider doing it. But if Julio is healthy, then I would go Godwin and Julio.
Yeah, I would do the same.
So.
Absolutely. Nick Bird, they're starting Dalton this week, which may favor Boyd.
Andy Dookie Dalton. We meet again. I thought we moved on, but you're back. Wasn't a very.
I thought we could be done. I thought we fired you on your birthday.
To miss you, Andy Dalton. I didn't have enough time to miss you. Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cheers.
Keep up, Sam. Who else is still drinking out there? Raise your hand.
Yeah. Who else is still drinking with us?
Well, raise your hand via the comments, of course.
People just sitting there like, wait, they can't see me.
Should I join the stream? Actually, if any of you actually think you can, not think, but if you would like to potentially join us one time, let us know.
Absolutely.
We can make that happen.
GM with the other commercials that piss him off are the AT&T ones. Your thing, that's our thing. I agree. And I love the vomit emoji there, which is an underused emoji in my opinion.
The vomit one?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. It's just so violent.
Yeah, you're projectile vomiting green shit out of your mouth. Yes, I think it's a bit violent. But Leonidas, dude.
Dropping another one for us.
Look at that Doberman pincher. I thought it was a Great Dane, but it is a Doberman now upon further review.
It's adorable. Upon further review. Does he drop Josh Gordon for Ryan Tannehill? Dak is his main quarterback.
Since Ryan Tannehill has taken over as the starting quarterback, here's a list of fantasy quarterbacks that have scored more points than him or averaged more points per week. Lamar Jackson. That's it.
Wow. That is an impressive list. Good company to keep. I mean, that's definitely a pickup I would make.
I would honestly, as much as I like Josh Gordon, and I still think that his role will grow in the Seattle offense. And honestly, he got open on a deep route, but was pass interference with in tough conditions there in Philadelphia. So I don't want to overreact, and I'm probably rolling with Dak Leonidas. I don't know, dude. I'm going to stay with Josh Gordon. I'm going to keep Josh Gordon.
No, I'm going to.
But I love A.J. Brown, and some of those pass catchers are actually starting. You're starting to see some of their potential now that Mariota isn't dragging the entire ship down.
Sure, but given the matchup this week, Buffalo at Dallas, I'm going to agree with you on going for the drop and picking up Tannehill this week. I mean, if you need to win this week, you got to play to win the game, and you're not going to play winning. You're not going to win with players on your bench. It's just not going to happen. Fantasy Focus NFL Combine.
Now, what exact events or drills are we going to do? I am down to do a combine. My 40. I'm scared about my 40.
I feel like I'd put up a decent 40. Decent. I feel like
I might put up a decent 40. Once upon a time.
Yeah.
If
I could swap out the bench press for squats, I would definitely put up a decent squat amount as well, because I definitely have better legs than I can do on the bench.
What do you squat, huh? Squat. What you squat, Sam? What you squat?
I can squat my body weight, which is about 140, depending on what I ate the day before.
To quote Matthew McConaughey from Wolf of Wall Street, those are rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers up.
But that's a straight squat. I mean, I can leg press way more. I can leg press about 300.
It's leg press. Anybody. You've seen fools that throw on 20 plates and hold their knees with their hands on leg press. Come on.
If you're holding your knee with your hands, it doesn't count. No,
it doesn't count. I agree it doesn't count. Some people are dumbasses when it comes to that.
We'll figure it out. We'll do a combine. We'll do a video.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, sound off in the comments. What events would you like to see us complete or compete in?
Yeah.
Whether it be bench, 40 time. Oh, I'm scared about my vertical. I'm scared about my vertical. Real scared.
I think I could probably be okay. I'm 5'5". I'm not super tall, but I feel like I can do a few things. We'll see how it goes.
I used to play pools for high school parties. I went 5 of 6, but the one I missed was not pretty.
Oh my God. Nick with another one. Tannehill looked fantastic and has one of the best playoff schedules of any quarterback. Agreed. Yeah. So, if he fits your team, fits your makeup, he's available. He's playing too good to not start. And I understand also keeping players on your bench going into the playoffs, make sure you have someone, but he's been playing too good. So it also just depends on who your quarterback is.
You can only start one quarterback and you
can. No, you can, but I also understand, depending on who your quarterback is, playing the matchup week to week.
Okay. And I understand that, but do you consider Dak Prescott a top 7 option down the stretch?
Top 7?
Yeah. He's been a top 5 quarterback for most of the damn season, if not all. And I get that they've struggled against better football teams, but Dak's still been productive.
He has. He has an okay rest of the season lineup. It's not great though. Buffalo this week, Chicago the following week, Rams, then Philadelphia and Washington in week 17, which most teams I don't think you necessarily play in week 17 for that delightful matchup. So,
but you get Philadelphia.
You get Philadelphia, but that's in week 16. That's with the playoffs.
That's championship week.
That's championship week. That's an okay, but the other 3 I don't love.
Fair enough. All right. So we got another question. Let's move on. We disagree with this.
Yeah. And that happens, and we're allowed to disagree. Oh, I love this. B. Andredosen, take the Wonderlic test. No. You want to know why? Because I already did it twice.
How'd you do?
Sucks. I did terrible both times. I had to do it in this previous offseason in order to get rookie draft picks. I've talked about this before. And because I had 2 picks, I had to take it twice. It was horrible and humiliating to put up the numbers that I did. There were way too many math questions in there, and I'm not good at math. It was not fun. I'm not doing that again. It's not going to be on our combine. I refuse. Absolutely refuse. more questions here. We've got one from Will. Half point PPR, Juju, Crowder, or Boyd?
Crowder. Good matchup against Cincinnati. I mean,
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It just really sucks to see what's happened with Juju. I mean, you do have, I think Duck Hodge is going to be much better this week, but he hasn't been as good necessarily with Juju. He's had more experience.
Trust him right now.
You just can't. No, you can't. Of the three, I sadly have to go Crowder as well. It hurts to say. I don't like saying.
It does hurt to say. I love Juju, and he's a great player. It's just not his season.
Yeah. And Tommy Garrett with some drills for us. The combine drills, the 40, the vert, 3-cone, and finish with the Wonderlick. No, I don't want to do the Wonderlick. No, I'm not doing it.
3-cone, I'll crush. 3-cone.
3-cone, I'll do, but I'm not taking the Wonderlick again.
I'll agree to everything except the Wonderlick. I want to throw the 225 reps in there. I can do that.
I mean, I'll try.
Look, when I walked on for USF, I did it 23 times.
Good job.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, that's immeasurable for the NFL.
It is immeasurable. Absolutely. Sure. You can do that.
God, now it sounds like I'm like just, bragging. Fuck.
And you cursed. You're not allowed to.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You should take 2 for that one.
I did. I'm sorry, everybody. All right.
Victor, tight end position has been rough this year, guys. I traded Hooper week 1 for Michelle, thinking Njoku was a lock. That sucks. Fell into the Browns trap once again. That's horrible. I'm sorry about that. I mean, hopefully there's another tight end you can pick up, but yeah, tight end position has been brutal this year.
Week 1. I mean, you traded Hooper week 1. I mean, come on. Like, can anybody have predicted? I mean, like, I know
no one could have predicted that. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, but
he finished as the tight end 5 last year, and with Julio and Ridley, you're selling high to get a running back in Sony Michel. So, come on. And you couldn't have predicted an injury with Njoku.
No,
I mean, don't beat yourself up about that, pal. That sucks, but don't beat yourself up.
Absolutely not. And another one from BN Dried Ocean, Chark or Julio this week. I got to look more into this Julio injury because
I'm going Julio. I'm sorry. Chark's been great, but I'm going Julio.
I mean, I want to go Julio too because I've got him in a couple leagues, but I mean, did I just miss something? Was this injury
Keep an eye on Lattimore too. What if Marshawn Lattimore doesn't play? Who's going to check Julio?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, what did Julio hurt? How did I miss this?
Shoulder.
He doesn't need that to catch. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Doesn't
He'll be fine.
Lift his arm.
Save him up. He's all right. He just has to go like this, and he can still make a good catch. He can use the other arm.
And yes, BN Dried Ocean, I just saw the news. Even with Chark against Tampa, I mean, how did that work out last week for Julio?
Yeah.
That's all.
That is all.
Now, I mean, if Julio doesn't play, then your decision's easy.
Sure. And hopefully we get, an update. I mean, we'll probably know more tomorrow ahead of the Thanksgiving Day game. But hopefully we'll have more clarity on that tomorrow. But in the meantime, you have to start Julio.
In a vacuum, I'm going Julio over DJ Chark.
Absolutely. Now, this is a great one from Victor. Adidas, Nike, or Reebok?
Nike.
Nike?
Yeah, go Nike.
I'm going to go Adidas. I feel like they're more comfortable than Nike. And I feel like they're more consistent in their sizing. I feel like sometimes I get Nike shoes and they don't feel right between like running and classic every day. I feel like Adidas is more consistent.
Nike's responsible for a little brand called Jordan. And
I know.
Those. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just love the classic little stripies on the Adidas. I just like that look. But what am I wearing right now? I'm wearing Brooks running shoes. Not really much to compare to.
we don't agree on everything. So
no,
we try.
And Tommy, Julio has hurt his shoulder and hasn't practiced yet. And
right,
you know what?
That's what I'm saying.
He won't. And the thing is,
he won't play. Then yes. Agreed.
if he doesn't play. But also note that he's a veteran and he's not going to practice if he doesn't have to. So if he feels fine and he just doesn't want to like risk it, he's not going to practice anyways. So if we see him as a did not practice, that is still not going to be enough clarity to know whether or not you start him. You need to know day of active or not.
And keep an eye on Marshawn Lattimore. I think it's a big deal. If he doesn't play, significantly helps Julio and even Calvin Ridley's cause.
Yeah. And let's wrap this up with just a couple last questions, guys. Leonidas, choose 2, Elliott, Drake, or Michelle, half-point PPR.
Ooh. We got our first Drake question. I know that Michelle had an effective week. I'm not even going to call it a great week. I'm going to say it's an effective week. I'm going to call it an effective week. And it was something that was probably tailor-made for him. It was a nasty conditions game, run the football. Yeah, I'm going Kenyon Drake, and I'm going Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm going to go with the same, make this easy, for the same reasons. And it's amazing. You wouldn't have guessed that Kenyon Drake would be having the year that he's having. Would you?
Having a couple of weeks that he's having. Hold on. Like
a couple of weeks. I know. But, like, you can almost say year just because it's better than he did last year. I mean, just overall, vacuum. Like,
what are you talking about? He was a top 15 running back last year in PPR.
But he's just.
Son. Come on.
I know.
Come on now.
I know. We'll go to the last couple debate questions here real quick.
Although it was complete bullshit that he had a top 15 year last year.
It was complete bullshit.
It was complete bullshit. But anyway, let's go.
Anyways, pizza or wings? I'm going to go pizza.
Oh, our sponsor is Hooters, and I do love me some wingy. Tell me what wing. I don't have the Chris Farley like triple chin and.
Oh my god! But you should because you don't eat your vegetables.
Tell me you know what I'm quoting.
No.
Oh my god, Tommy Boy.
No, I'm sorry. I told you I only saw it once. I don't know that one as well.
Here, not so much here, right here. Come on. You got Sam, you are so cool, yet you have so far to go.
Yeah, I know.
When it comes to movies, just movies.
Just because of movies. I got to work on a lot of other things in my life. Last one before we go. One more from Being Dread Ocean. Thanksgiving. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Being Dread Ocean, you rule, man. Thanks for continuing to join us for the live show and for the fantasy debate.
Absolutely. And Will Jenkins, thanks for the advice. You guys are the best. We appreciate you, Will. Thank you.
Will Jenkins.
For hanging out. And Victor just sending us off with another one. Thanksgiving.
Victor, thank you, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
Onward to victory.
Onward to victory. And Leonardo is sending us off with Tommy Boy.
Yeah, you've never seen Tommy Boy.
I'll just, I've got a lot to work on in my life. I'll fix it.
So before we sign off, because I've got a lengthy sign off that I like to mention some of our sponsors and some of where you can find our podcasts and et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead and sign off in the comments right before we end this episode, telling her that she has to watch Tommy Boy for the love of God.
Don't get them all in my hate mail and all this stuff. I don't need all that.
We're in that hate mail. Look, I posted a video of myself doing a rock impersonation, cutting a promo at a karaoke bar. If I can go ahead and swallow my pride and put that up there, then people can tell you that you need to watch the movie Tommy Boy.
All right, thank you.
And by the way, Leonidas, though, he's actually just giving you some birthday love.
Thank you. My birthday's actually this Friday, so it's the day after Thanksgiving. Cheers.
Watch it now. Is that extravision? Anyway.
Thank you, Leonidas, though. I will try to have a happy birthday. I will be 32 this year, so that'll be fun.
He's not wrong. You need to watch Tommy Boy.
I know, guys.
Tommy Boy will change your life, and you will not sleep until you watch it. So, hey, thank you so much for everybody jumping on the bandwagon and telling Sam.
Jeez. Guys, it's my birthday week. Give me a break.
It's all right. That's only the motivational speaker's only been sitting down scares, sipping coffee for the past 4 hours before jumping on for this. No, in all seriousness, guys and gals, thank you so much for joining us and hitting us with your questions. Look, I want everybody to have a fantastic Thanksgiving, whether you're spending it with family, spending it by yourself, spending it with friends, whatever the case may be. Please enjoy your Thanksgiving, and thank you so much. We are very thankful for you over here at Fantasy Focus. Like, in all seriousness, I cannot thank you guys so much. Like, cannot thank you enough. This has been so much fun. Sam, I'm thankful for you. You are fantastic, and this has been so much fun continuing to do the fantasy debate with Sam and Tate on a weekly basis, and to watch it continue to grow. It's only going to be that much more fun as we press forward.
Yes, thank you. And I'm very thankful for you as well. This has been such a fun show. I'm so glad that we started this podcast this year and getting to hang out with all of you guys, answering all your wonderful questions. Thank you so much. It's been a blast.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Cheers.
And to all of you as well, one more final cheers. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys. We'll see you next
said
week.
Thanksgiving twice in that whole time, and I was drinking while you were talking.
I know, and you just said it again. I mean, what are we gonna?
Don't forget to follow us. You can follow Derek on Twitter at Tate4.
Please on YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you.
You are. I'm trying to give you a plug. Follow Derek on Twitter and all forms of social media at Tate4. You can follow me, Sam, at Samantha R. Holt on Twitter, on Instagram at Sam_awesome. Please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button in YouTube and follow at Fantasy Focused on Instagram as well and Twitter. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Fantasy Debate. And guys, have a wonderful week and happy week 13. Happy Thanksgiving and cheers.
I'm trying to press the end broadcast button while having a sip of beer.